Hey everyone, welcome back to the PUSHAS Podcast. I'm Justin.
My name is Sandy.
And I'll let Sandy explain what we do here.
What the f***? That was the worst opening.
Okay, I'll do that again. Hey everyone, welcome back to the PUSHAS Podcast. My name is Justin.
I'm Sandy.
And we're here to just reflect on our week, talk about sneakers, streetwear, and everything in between.
Answer any questions that you may have and anything that's just happened in the PUSHAS family throughout the week.
In the PUSHAS universe, I guess.
The PUSHAS universe,
Yeah, so we'll get straight into it.
Yeah, we'll get straight into it. I think we've had a pretty fun, well, how would you describe it? A very
eventful week.
Eventful week. Some things a little bit funnier, other things a little bit more challenging. Yeah. So I guess first thing we would love to share with you is for those of you who follow G'd Up or is a diehard G'd Up fan, you probably already know. But I guess we'd kind of like to talk more about it.
Yeah. So
what happened, Justin? Bring me the 411.
So I remember this was a couple of days ago. I was looking through the G'd Up story, and Paco, shout out to Paco. He added us on Instagram, and he was like, Justin, PUSHAS, look at this, fake authentication tags. And at first, when you're just scrolling through a story, you don't really get the context. And at first I was like, wait, is he calling us out because a customer bought a fake hoodie from us? But I'm sure that's not the case because, our authentication process is top tier. And I know that we only have good authentic G'd Up hoodies and tees. We only work with the most trusted suppliers and the trusted sellers. So I knew it was impossible, but I was like, wait, what's going on, right? So I had to watch the story again.
So first attempt at a fake. That's his second attempt. He just got it really wrong with the swing tags. So this is what we usually do. And even the density of that. Yeah, you're not quite there yet, bro. Not quite there yet. But the best part about it is where's this one? Look at that. They're getting better, these fakes.
What else was wrong?
But brother, Justin, PUSHAS, look at that. That means it's been verified by you, bro, but it's a fake. They're even faking your swing tags. Class action, maybe.
What else is there, bro?
And it turns out that someone was faking G'd Up hoodies, and in order to kind of scam people and sell them and pass them off as real, they also made fake PUSHAS authentication tags. And so they put it on the hoodie, and then they tell people, hey, this has been authenticated by PUSHAS. And they sell it to people, and they're like, hey, look, I'm selling legit G'd Up, right? And I'm sure they're making pretty good profit off it. But what I found really interesting is, this is the first time in our 7 years that someone's actually faked an authentication tag from PUSHAS. I've heard it done to other players, but not to us. So this was huge, and I think what's interesting was that, I guess for me, I was just really taken aback that people would actually do this.
Yeah, I guess just for a bit of context as well, G'd Up is Australia's largest streetwear
Yeah, they're not
brand.
one of they're
the
largest by far.
Yeah, that's why I had to roll it back a bit. They're the largest. So if you don't know or you're not familiar with G'd Up yet, you need to check them out. They do a lot of they're selling is it a brand? Is it a store? It's not just a clothing brand anymore.
It's a lifestyle, right?
It's a lifestyle, yeah. So I guess
it's the play for keeps lifestyle.
Yeah, so they're most well known for their hoodies, their tracksuits and t-shirts, but really just the people in the community.
Yeah, they've worked with really
G'd Up.
cool people. A lot of fighters, a lot of boxers.
Yeah.
A lot of artists.
And they've got a huge following, a huge community,
a huge
base.
Engaged following.
Yeah.
Like everyone who follows G'd Up or wears G'd Up is a diehard G'd Up fan. Like they're not just casual. Like certain brands, people wear them and it's nice, but they're not so.
They're not loyal.
They're not tuned in. They're not
Yeah.
plugged in, right? Whereas these guys are tuned in. These guys are tapped in hard, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I guess hence the reason why that video went a bit crazy.
Yeah,
it went crazy. It was a 3-day ordeal actually.
So I was going to continue my story. But the reason why I think I was so surprised about that story was that I think, especially if you're just kind of like I was kind of just tuning into the stories and just looking at it, you're like, well, maybe Pushas is selling fake. So it was interesting that number one, someone is authenticating fake G'd up hoodies with fake Pushas tags. So to me, I guess I was kind of mixed feelings. I was like, it's rough, right? Because I don't want people to get scammed, and I think that's why I was a bit surprised. I was like, why are people kind of scamming people using our tag, right? Like, but then the second thing is, I realized this a couple of days later. Well, maybe it means that we're big enough that people are actually using us as a symbol of trust because our brand carries that much weight, right? Like Pushas having a Pushas authentication tag carries that much weight that people trust it, and I think that's testament to us, and that's great to know.
Yeah.
But I was scanning through the stories, and it was interesting that like what Paco actually meant was that, hey, like someone's actually faking your tags, like you should like look out for this. But what's interesting is that a lot of people who watched that story
verbatim, Paco said they were having a conniption.
Yeah.
And sliding into their DMs, asking whether we were actually
selling fake G'd up hoodies.
Yeah, or just not authenticating the products well. But, even though we do have a huge range of G'd up and we do work with a huge amount of trusted sellers within Australia as well, which is crazy.
Yeah, but, he had to do another story the day after to be like, hey, Pushas is selling authentic G'd up. Everything they have is authentic. You can trust them, which is great. Like I thanked him for I DM'd him and I said, hey, thanks for looking out for us, because obviously you don't want people misinterpreting the story and thinking we sell fakes when we've never sold a fake.
Yeah. Especially because people can take things out of context so
face
quickly.
value.
And like if you're not comprehending the information quite properly and you're just watching the story once, like Justin said, he had to watch it a few times to actually understand what was going on, and that's why I was like,
that's because I was tagged. But if I wasn't tagged, and he can call me out, and I might have just looked through.
Yeah, and that's why it was a whole 3-day ordeal, because I guess people weren't listening to what was happening properly.
Yeah. And then, so it was a 3-day ordeal because the next day again, Joey was doing his walk-in talks, which is basically, asking him questions and he answers them as he's going about his day. And someone asked, hey, is Pushas selling legit G'd up hoodies? And he had to clarify again and be like, hey, yes, Pushas is selling legit G'd up hoodies and they're authenticating them right, and we're a trusted source of G'd up, but also other streetwear. So, it was just I didn't, and this was the other reason, how I said, I'm surprised. The other reason I'm surprised is I didn't think it would go on for 3 days. I thought it was just a story and, people would just, whatever. But it's a whole kind of 3-4 day ordeal.
Yeah. And I guess that's just a testament to how engaged their audience is well, right? If it's a whole, hundreds and hundreds of DMs about this, just from one story. It
wasn't even a post, right? That was, and that's why I was so surprised. I was like, it wasn't even a post. Most people would have just flicked past and not care, but it was a pretty long story too.
Mm-hmm.
But it became this whole thing. And I just want to thank both Paco and Joey. Thank you for defending us
but also just flagging this to us, so that way we know we need to educate our buyers more on our just what's out there as well, right?
Yeah.
Because if there are people replicating our tags and our and that's floating around, we need to make sure we set the record straight as well. Because
and that's the thing, right? Like
not only defending us, but just protecting consumers as a whole, right? Because we don't want people to all of a sudden receive replica sneakers and think, oh, okay, well, there's a Pushas tag on it, that means it's legit. But it's you got to make sure that you're getting it straight from the supplier, right? Straight from us or straight from G'd Up, and
that's why I think I was surprised. I'm like, why are people making fake authentication Pushas tags? Because I'm like, is someone who's buying a pair of sneakers or a G'd Up hoodie or anything else, wouldn't they just buy it off us? Like, why would they buy it off a random off Facebook Marketplace or something, and then trust that the Pushas tag is there? Because for us, those tags are to help us authenticate, but it I think part of the trust is buying directly from us. Mm-hmm. And so I was just so surprised. I didn't know You know, I didn't think that would happen, but you know that's happening now. So if you're out there and you're looking at sneakers online or streetwear, make sure that you buy directly from us, like Sandy said, or buy directly from G Up or Nike or whichever brand you're buying from, because people are doing this now, and
I think it's a lot more common than
if there's one person doing that, there's probably 10, 20 other people doing that out there. So, don't be caught lacking out there. Make sure that you buy from reputable sources. But yeah, it honestly caught me by surprise this week. Like I was doing work and then I just had to drop everything. I was like, what is going on? Like I'm still a bit dazed now, as you can tell. Like I'm just like.
But can I just say, could they have picked a harder brand to replicate?
Yeah, because the quality and how it's made and the seams and and this is the thing I really respect Paco with. He puts a lot of effort in every design.
Yeah,
there's a lot of effort, a lot of detail. G Up
quality is quality. Everything is quality. Actually, we have a jumper over there. Maybe we could bust one out. Yeah. Do you want to grab it?
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Since it's over there, it's just.
Oh, I don't know. Is it this one?
No, it's just over there. There.
Oh, there.
Yeah. So, could you have picked a harder hoodie brand to replicate? Everything on this hoodie, from the packaging to the tag as well, is just so well thought about. Everything has its own little detail. You've got your what are these called? Your drawstring metal tips, right?
Yeah.
These can break one of your teeth if you fling them in the wrong way. This could literally blind you. Yeah. And look at that quality everywhere. Like all the stitching, you got the embroidery.
Show everyone.
Got your embroidery. Like, could you have picked?
Yeah, look at the quality of that, right? Like,
yeah. Look at the stitching. Everything's just so perfect, and the consistency in all of the apparel as well.
And the tags, you got to show the tags.
This tag. The tag. I think the tag in the video was actually paper.
It was pretty
the first
dodgy.
one. And then another one was actually the PUSHAS tag attached to the G'd Up swing tag as well, which isn't how it should come because we have our own swing tag as well. So, could they have picked a harder jumper to replicate?
Yeah.
Jeez. You know what? It would probably cost you an arm and a leg just to replicate it as well, to get it right. And then you kind of...
And you're ordering like 5 hoodies and your supplier in Portugal or China or something is like 5, so we're going to charge you an arm and a leg. You might as well buy one, right?
Yeah, which is insane. But, that was the first thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the things that came to mind when I thought about that.
Yeah.
But,
it was interesting. I think, like, that whole deal, I just didn't think it would ever happen. So, just be careful out there and make sure that,
you're buying directly from the source.
Yeah.
For sure. That's probably the most important part.
You have to buy from us, but, we'd prefer if you did. But,
and our authentication, we have a team of experts who authenticate, hundreds and thousands of items, and they know what a G'd Up hoodie is supposed to look like, or a pair of Nike Pandas, and they get checked, hand inspected by every single team member before it goes out to you.
Well, really, I think we undersell ourselves. I think it gets checked on the way in and on the way out.
Yeah, so two different people then, just in case we're lacking. Yeah. Is that what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think we actually talk about our authentication process much. Like, I think people just think, they probably just look, but, you guys know what it's like. It's like you look at it, then you smell it, then, it's everything, the box. But I think what's special about us is that, we check it on the way in.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of the sellers trust us with their goods. So, we on the way in, and then also on the way out, we check it again. Just to make sure, right? So, because sometimes, we just want to make sure that that's the right sneaker and you bought the right size or,
Yeah, actually I have a bone to pick. I feel like everyone nowadays has the internet as a guideline and they find a real versus fake on Google and all of a sudden everyone is a professional sneaker or apparel authenticator. Mm-hmm. But really, like our team, from picking up the shoe, they know exactly how much it's meant to weigh. from smelling it, just from opening the box, they know exactly how a sneaker is meant to smell. Our team does so much research. We so much goes into it that I think
and it's
is
just the
also
volume, the
undervalued.
sheer volume, right?
Yeah,
Like each
like-
person's doing like
How many
X amount a
Yeezys,
day.
how many
Yeah.
dunks in all different colorways. It's all about consistency. Like, literally, you can just look at a box and be like, yep, yes, no. You can lift up a shoe and be like, too heavy, too light. So, it's, yeah. So, you, from just, and the thing is, there's so many different releases. For example, the Panda Dunk Lows, right? They've released so many different times, so many different in so many different factories, because as you know, Nike has manufacturing, facilities all over the world. All of a sudden, wait a minute, dunks aren't meant to be made in Indonesia or Vietnam, but there's so many releases and they get made everywhere. Just because of that, you can't say, oh yeah, nah, these, you guys didn't check them properly.
Yeah, why is that dunk made in Vietnam? I swear I checked the internet and it's only made in China.
Yeah, and stuff like that, and like, oh no, everything that comes out of China is fake. No, that's not true. Nike has factories in China as well, and shoes are made there. Things get made there still. That does not mean that they're replicas. I feel so passionate about this. That's why you're looking at this. But
I get why you're passionate about it, because we've dedicated our lives to this, right? So,
but it's important to set the record straight. Like it's important that buyers do know, and they don't kind of read from one source and treat it as, okay, this is Bible. Whereas we have team members who dedicate this is their life.
there's so much nuance to it. And the other thing is I've done the math, and I think you can do the math at home, but you've done a lot of authentication
But
yourself.
just our team as a whole, we've worked with sneakers for
But I know you like to deflect this, but you as a person on your own, I'd say you've authenticated more shoes than anyone, probably more than anyone in the world. Like I've done the math. I think you have. So just you alone.
But, but our team have looked at so many different shoes.
She can't take a compliment.
We've looked at so many things, and it's there's so much knowledge in the team that I feel like gets undervalued when you just pull up one website.
It's like
Dunk Panda Low.
It's like someone who reads a forum and they're like, but why do I need to take my car to a mechanic? I can service my BMW. Like my M3 is fine. It's easy. Why do I need anyone? Like, I'm sure there's people that can do it, but majority probably can't, right? Yeah. No, that's I love how passionate you are about this, and which is good, right? Because our business is all based on us authenticating. That's where we provide value for the customer. We have a really good track record of number one, accurate orders, but number two, ensuring that our goods are authentic. So that's something we're very proud of. So I'm glad you're authentic. I'm glad that you're passionate about it. About authentication.
I am. And even over the weekend, I actually went to the markets, and funny enough, they had so many different replica shoes, and I was just so fascinated. I was just so fascinated at the shoes, and I'm like, wow, if you've never seen a panda in your life and you picked up these, you'd probably think these are real or TNs. But it's like you said, it's the nuance, right? It's the fact that we've seen so many dunks, so many TNs that we're able to pick up just the little things when it comes through. And someone who's maybe just seen it on the shelf or in a photo,
you can't pick it.
You can't pick it.
Yeah.
You can't pick it. And that goes with all things, right? All things when you're trying to authenticate. But I was just insane. I was so fascinated. Yeah. I felt like the person didn't want to serve me though, maybe because I was wearing a PUSHAS hoodie. Probably thinks, she's out to get to me. But
no. So that was kind of the big thing that happened this week. That was really interesting. I dude, I think, I don't know, what am I thinking?
Yeah, what's been top of mind? I feel like it's in Sydney, it's a bit rainy and snoozy.
Yeah,
it's a bit snoozy. The weather's been terrible.
My brain doesn't feel like it's on.
Oh, Hellstar.
Yes.
Hellstar.
Yes.
Yeah. You talk more about Hellstar.
That's exciting.
Hellstar, Cortez.
Yeah, so as you guys know, as you guys and gals know, see, John, please cut this part out. Like, let's make this part succinct. Like,
as you guys and girls.
As you guys and John was talking. As you guys and gals know, all right, let's get back into it. All right. As you guys and girls know, this week we dropped two new streetwear brands that are now selling on Pushas, Hellstar and Cortez. I think one of the things that we're very proud of, and I'm personally very proud of, is the curation on our site. Like, we don't just sell any brand that comes up. For us, it has to be, the things that I kind of look for does it look good? Number one, like, do I personally like it? Number two, is it exclusive? And number three, is it hype? And I think your Hellstar and Cortez are two brands that, similar to G-Dub, are blowing up in the streetwear world. Especially Hellstar, man. Like, well, Cortez has been big for the past year, but Hellstar, the past 6 months they've blown up. So I'm not sure if you the people watching this know, but Hellstar is an LA brand. They started around California, right? California, Nevada, around there. And they're big in LA though. And they have big artists wearing them. Metro Boomin, Gunna, the Baby. But I love the designs. Like, that's the one thing that I think I'm excited about, because I personally really like Hellstar.
Yeah. And I've heard the quality is really good as well. So.
Oh, the quality is amazing. But just the designs, like, it's different, right? It's kind of like 90s punk rock.
It's like mixed with like vintage G spec. It's quite loud.
Yeah. But it's different and it's colorful, and I've seen, I'm sure everyone here's seen vintage tees and the like, but these guys have put a different twist on it, and it looks different, but it looks like fresh, right?
I think if you were to walk down the street and someone's wearing it, you'll definitely pick up that it's Hellstar.
Yeah, and it is at a higher price point than other kind of streetwear brands, but I think it's because the quality's there, and like, they do everything custom in their LA warehouse, which is awesome.
Yeah. So it's handmade then.
Well, I don't know if it's handmade, but it is kind of like done custom. It's not like, okay, let's just get bulk Gildan tees in and screen print and be done, right? So
yeah, but check it out. Check it out on our website if you haven't seen it already. Plug.
Yeah.
www.pushas.com or the app, the Pushas app.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, I think, with a lot of brands that are coming out now, it's not just the Supremes, it's not just the Bape, it's not just the Essentials. But
we still like the Essentials. The
yeah, of course. Like,
Bape.
they're classics and they're staples. Like, of course. But I do like that there's other brands that are coming up and other brands that are, getting hot, right? And I think it's good to, more competition is always better.
What a time to be alive, where anyone can really start a clothing brand. I feel like it's a very even playing field now.
Yeah, it's democratized, right?
Yeah, whereas back in the day it was just Supreme was around since the 90s, right? Mm. So they've been building for ages, and
they've dominated, right? Like,
I guess it wasn't until social media and everything came about where they really took it global, whereas before it was probably just big out in the States, right?
Yeah. Oh,
you reckon?
It was big in, I think it was really big in Japan.
Yeah. Okay.
Europe.
I guess it's more like the markets they decide to target.
Yeah.
But now, because you can see everything on your phone, it's worldwide. Everyone wants it. And when are they going to open a Bape store, a Supreme store, or any of those stores in Australia? This makes me sad. Every time we go and see these stores overseas, everything's always sold out as well. So we don't get any of that hype. And I don't know, I love seeing people line up for stuff outside. Like, I love the culture coming together for this stuff. I love camping outside.
You haven't done that in years, though.
Yeah, because no one camps anymore.
Yeah.
I think, they've introduced different, raffle systems, so there's no need to camp. Well, not that there's no need to camp.
But I think... Yeah, you camping out is... Yeah, you always talk fondly about it, and... Yeah.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's like sitting around on camp chairs, or taking someone else's camp chair because you're a female and it's cold. No, I'm kidding.
With Cortez as well. Like Cortez is blowing up in London. The way they've launched the brand, the way they've positioned the brand, the way they've been grassroots and getting all that support and all that. I guess so many people repping them. Like I think they've done so well. Both those brands are cool.
Definitely something to look out for.
Yeah, and you can find them on Pushas now.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
Which one do you like more? Is there a preference? I feel like you're more of a Cortez person.
Why?
I feel like your taste is more like Cortez.
I actually like Hellstar a lot
Really?
more. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I love good quality stuff and
Cortez is good quality.
Yeah, but like I love a more like original design. I feel
Mm.
like it's so loud and out there. It does scream very LA,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like
Yeah.
the colors they choose.
Very Hollywood.
Yeah. I love it. I love
Yeah.
big and like epic and spectacular, you know? It's nice. Whereas Cortez is like, don't get me wrong, it's cool. Like it's very, I feel like it's very skate culture. Like if anything.
Very drill. Like to me,
Yeah.
it's like very drill,
Yeah,
very
the
like
cargos,
streets.
You know, but I don't know. I kind of like Hellstar.
Yeah.
I love the tracksuits. I love the long sleeve, baggy kind of clothes. So.
What I like about Cortez, well, I like them both equally, but what I liked about Cortez is all the collaborations they're doing.
Yeah.
Like the Nike collabs, the Supreme collabs.
Yeah.
The Supreme collab I thought was fire. Like I was like I wanted to cop, but I couldn't find it. If you're a seller and you have a lot of the Supreme Cortez collaborations, send them in. I might cop a personal. But yeah, like I think that and you know how much we love Supreme, right? So we might be washed. I don't know. Like a lot of the young kids.
Supreme's for the old dudes. And babe, nah.
Yeah, but you can't change my mind. I love Supreme, and so when Cortez did the Supreme collaboration, I just thought that was amazing. So that's what I love about them. And yeah, with Hellstar, their hoodie, like their tees are really great. Like their tees are different designs, like we were saying before. But their hoodies, man, like I think it looks iconic. Like I think I can see the hoodies being really like a classic in the next couple of years. But the other thing too is I think Australians are a bit,
late to
the game.
Yep.
Yeah, like I hate to say it, but we're pretty late, right? Like,
Yep. I think. Do you think it's a matter of either we don't have much culture, or do you think these brands don't come here, or like?
So I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that for us to see if something's cool, it has to blow up on social media.
Yeah.
Because there's no like on the ground stuff that's happening, right? Like let's say it's Supreme. There's stores in New York. There's stores in Japan. There's is there a store? Yeah, there is a store in Japan, right?
Yeah.
We were there.
To it,
Yeah. What am I saying? I'm telling you, I'm like fried today. There's a store in LA, so there's like that kind of like on the ground kind of like melting pot kind of activity spark happening, and so even if it doesn't blow up on social media, it people on the ground are wearing it, and there's like activity there.
Yeah.
Same with Hellstar, to be honest. Like I think with Hellstar, everyone I talk to in the US is telling me Hellstar's blowing up in LA, Hellstar's blowing up in New York, Hellstar's blowing up in all the states, especially the high school, college crowd. But you don't see them. You don't see it on social media.
Yeah.
The other month, like I know that like Kanye was like to someone wearing Hellstar, why are you wearing Hellstar? Don't you believe in Jesus? It was a really funny video. You should watch it if you see it. But yeah, it's like it's actually happening in those places, and it's blowing up. I know that Hellstar's really popular in Japan as well, and in Europe.
Really?
Yeah.
So why do you think it's taken so long to get to Australia then? Or just all these brands.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like I actually think that without it blowing up on social media,
Yeah.
no one wears it here. And if no one wears it here, there's no activity happening. There's no
There's no hype or stimulation.
There's no spark to get the flywheel going, right?
I guess there's also no presence from the brand itself.
Exactly.
Right? So there's no presence.
Or any of the influencers or any of the people. Because, what's interesting is that, like, what I've heard anyway, and this is why I was so happy we were able to get Hellstar, was that, in the US, it sells so fast that you can't even get them on the online platforms.
Yeah.
Right? People aren't selling them because people are just like literally buying them off like stores, or like resellers are just selling them like so quickly that they're not even bothered listing on online platforms. It's that popular. And so when you go on these online platforms, you might be like, oh, there's not that much stuff there. But there's not that much stuff there because it's already sold. Like store owners, brick and mortar store owners are like, crap, like, bulk ordering from resellers, 100,000 units, which is like huge. And it's selling, more than Essentials, more than Supreme in the US right now. But because it's not like happening in the digital world, these online platforms aren't getting supply, or there's no kind of like social media posts, in Australia about it. We don't hear about it, and then we don't, we don't jump on the wave. But if you look at social media in the US, or the US influencers, a lot of the US influencers are wearing them. A lot of the US celebrities are wearing them. And if you're like walking the streets of LA or walking the streets of New York, you see them everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it doesn't pop off as much in Australia.
But I guess it's also not just these brands, right? It's like sneakers too. I feel like sneakers is such a big thing in the US for so long. Why did it take us so long to get into sneakers? Or even music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're always late to the bandwagon for most things, and that's why like most places don't open here.
So I think when it starts is when we have that cross culture collab. So I think like, and this brings us back to G'd Up pretty well, is that, when we have some activity happening here, right? When we have our own streetwear brands like G'd Up that are going to Europe and going to the US, that's when the activity happens. That's when you share knowledge, and that's when you share, kind of share ideas. And then from there, that's when we start bringing stuff back, right? And so, whether it's music, whether it's, sneakers, look, this is me kind of, tooting up our own horn, but I think, our presence in Australia and us, building Pushes, that made a lot of shoes that might have not been popular in Australia previously be really popular here, because we started promoting it, right? We started wearing it. Our friends started buying it, and it started to kind of ripple out. So, I think you need that. You kind of need that kind of cross. And this is what I'm hope we're doing with all the curation that we're doing with bringing cool brands from other countries over to here, because Australia needs to know about it. Like I actually think Australia needs to know about it. Like, if there are cool brands that are doing innovative things that are really pushing the boundaries, I really think the Australians should know about it. And I think we should, we're playing our role in kind of curating that.
Yeah, and I think that's nice that you're saying we're kind of sharing and moving things around. Like, for example, G'd Up is huge in New Zealand and Australia, but, we've got audience from all over the globe. So now we hope, like, our customers from, the US and the UK can now, shop G'd Up as well.
And they're doing great marketing campaigns in the UK, right?
Yeah.
With UK artists, and that's cool, because then all these UK artists are tapping in, and they're like, actually, like, damn, like, I've worked with G'd Up. They're from Australia. They're cool. What else is happening in Australia? And maybe I should bring my stuff to Australia, right? To share, because obviously there's a crowd there that's been working. I think, maybe I should do tools in Australia.
Yeah.
Right. So I think once that starts to happen, that's when we start to see, and that cross kind of pollination starts to happen. So I'm excited for that. I think, people think that like sneakers and streetwear is like dead, but I actually think that this is the start of it, right? Like, Australia's finally having its first proper, streetwear brand kind of go global. We're starting to really see these artists starting to look at Australia as an actual place that's taste making, right? Like, we're not just copying and adopting brands from overseas. We're actually like making taste here ourselves, and we have a big part of our audience at Pushes is the American, right? Like, we have a lot of US customers that look at us and they're like, oh, wow, these Australians are curating these sneakers or these streetwear brands, etc. Like, we're taste making too. And I think that's really powerful, because, they look at us for inspiration. They're like, wow, like, Australia actually has taste. And if that's the case, then, Australia actually has taste. And if that's the case, then, maybe let's keep
They'll
tapping
actually
in.
think of us as a market
Exactly.
instead of like some far away. I remember when I think it was during the bushfires, and then when there was a post of Australia actually on fire, people started to realize how big Australia was. But before that, they thought, okay, it's maybe just a speck just on the globe somewhere. But then they were like, no, it's actually the size of, I think the size is equivalent of the US.
Yeah, landmass wise,
Yeah.
we're similar size
And they were
to
like,
the
whoa,
US.
Australia's huge. And I'm just like, they didn't know
They just
that.
think we're kangaroos and
Yeah, I remember going to the
kookaburras
US
and
so many
platypuses.
times, and they're like, "Isn't that the country where everything kills you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like,
They're not wrong, but-
Spiders, kangaroos, all
Snakes.
these, snakes. And I'm like, "We're more than that." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, Steve Irwin," and I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, "The Wiggles," and I'm like, "I guess that's what people know us for." But hopefully, we.
Hey, the Wiggles are huge.
Yeah, I know they're
The
huge.
Wiggles are huge.
I know they're huge, but
They're
hopefully
a
we're
cultural
more.
phenomenon.
Hopefully we're more than just a bird-eating spider, the Wiggles, and just crocodiles,
Yeah.
And we're like, like now they can see taste, music,
Yeah.
our own genre. We have our own genre.
Yeah, Aussie drill is
it's
global
huge.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and yeah, I'm really proud of the scene to be able to get us there, right?
Yeah.
And all the artists that are doing well. So
100%.
yeah, I
crazy.
think it's starting to happen here in Australia. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm excited to see
Yeah, I want to be a part of that journey too,
Yeah.
and I want to bring our what we do to it too, and see how we can
Yeah,
kind
our
of
flavour to
support
it,
that.
right?
Yeah.
which is what we're doing now, which is curating a lot of the cool things that Australians might not see.
Yeah.
And getting it here. So, yeah.
100%, and also pushing what's in Australia international as well,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
All right. So the next segment of our podcast is sneaker of the week.
Sneaker of the week.
Oh well, it doesn't have to be sneaker of the week. Let's say like heat of the week.
Heat of the week. So it
Alright.
could be apparel too, in other words.
Streetwear. Yeah,
right?
it could be streetwear. It could be sneakers. Could be
Ooh.
anything.
I went first last time. You
Okay.
go.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, is this Essentials hoodie.
This Essentials
Yeah,
hoodie.
this Essentials hoodie. This
Tell us more about your Essentials hoodie.
my dark oatmeal Essentials hoodie.
Tell the camera. Don't tell me. Look at the camera.
Yeah. So
What are you wearing, Justin?
I'm wearing-
Who are you wearing today?
No, like this. I think this episode's the theme's like streetwear. So I thought like I think for me, man, this Essentials dark oatmeal hoodie is so comfy. Like I think for winter, it's like keeping me cozy, keeping me warm. And I wore it a lot this week. So yeah, I love it. I think it's a great piece. Essentials is one of our top sellers still. And yeah, like maybe I'm basic. I think I'm pretty basic. Look, I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm pretty basic. So yeah, I'm not gonna front to anyone. Like everyone who knows me knows that. Yeah, I'm pretty basic. I like my good stuff. So look, when I say it's good, it's good, right? Because yeah, I stick to my staples. So I like this hoodie. It's an awesome hoodie, and if you don't have one yet, you should grab one.
Yeah, get them while it's hot.
Yeah, we don't have much left because I think this is 2022 release.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
this is their iconic one. This is the one that people usually go for. When you think Essentials, they usually go for this, and this is the one that you see out on the streets a lot more.
Yeah, but I think they haven't released it again, so there's not that many new
Yeah.
dead stock
They've got their
hoodies left.
different, the new season kind of thing, just like any
Which is
fashion, right?
like the new season stuff's nice too, right?
Yeah. This
but-
is different.
But this is different. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think for me, I kind of underappreciated Essentials for a bit. I'd say we started selling Essentials back before it was even that hype in Australia. And but for me, I thought it was always cool, but I never got myself anything, right? So
I think it's a really well-made jumper. Like,
Yeah.
just the way there's a drop shoulder, the way it's stitched, like
Yeah.
just the fleecing on it. It's a really comfortable jumper, and the fact that it's oversized too just feels like you're wearing a big blanket. So
yeah, so I don't know. I've grown an appreciation to it more, and now I'm like, yeah, it's like a comfortable meal that like you grew up eating.
it's a nice bowl of fur for you.
Yeah. So exactly right. So I think when we first got it, I didn't appreciate it as much. It's like growing up, you don't appreciate your own culture's food as much.
Yeah, you're like, rice
Yeah.
again, Mum. We had that yesterday and the day before
I want
that.
a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I want a chicken sanger, not a
I'm
rice.
joking. But yeah, but now that like this is like, let's say it's like a classic now, right? Like it's not new anymore. I've grown a newfound appreciation for it. So that's my heat of the week.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. I should probably bring mine out as well.
Yeah, what is it?
It's the shocks. I
Alright,
love
grab
the
it,
shocks.
grab it,
I think
grab
it's right there.
Which one? I'll grab it for you.
Just over there, under the orange box.
This one?
Does it say shocks? No, over there. No. Under the yeah. That one, is that shocks? No, they're not shocks.
You do remember seeing it.
Oh, how could I?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh,
Thank you, John.
thank you, John. So
We've got to cut a lot of that out too. But yeah.
my shoe of the week, the shocks. I can't get enough of these. These are so cool. If you like, I don't know, like we sell so many of these, but I've never actually seen anyone wear them, which is interesting, hey?
Yeah.
But
You're the only one that I see wear them.
I wear these
On the street, yeah.
daily. I love them so much. I don't know if it's just the overall look of it, but I really do like the Y2K era, and this just screams Y2K. And year 2000, for those of you who don't know what Y2K is, but everything that comes out of year 2000 and the fashion there is this. Like I just imagine this with denim on denim, and they're just so clean.
You wear with everything, so not just denim,
I wear
but you wear with everything. Yeah.
Yeah, these are so fresh, and I'm not the tallest person, and I keep saying this. It gives me a bit of height. These are so cool. I love these so much. I actually love these so much.
Yeah. No. What do you
These are
like
my
about them?
Just everything. They're such a. They're just. I love everything about it. I think we went to the States the first time. I tried to look for a pair of shocks, and they didn't have any. And then after a while, they finally released some shocks, and I think because they got so much positive feedback from it, they're starting to do it in so many different colorways. So I'm really excited to see what they do with it next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you still didn't answer my question. What do you like about them? You said everything, but that's not specific enough.
What do I like about everything?
Yeah,
mesh,
that's been
the
your
white.
answer for the past 5 minutes. But
I love
want to know what
a
your
fresh pair of
your actual
triple white
answer is.
shoes.
Mhm.
It's mesh, so they're comfortable, and they give me extra height. What more can a girl want? Right? Or a guy? Justin, get on these. I keep trying to get him on these.
They're nice, but
But not for you.
yeah, they're not for me,
Not for you.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in for another week of podcast. If you have any questions that you would like us to answer in the next one, feel free to drop us a DM or send us an email, and we'd love to answer your questions on our podcast.
Yeah, and
This
subscribe.
This has been great. I do 10-second sneaker reviews now, so please check them out. Let me know what you think.
It's on our YouTube channel.
Short, sweet, honest review. When I first see them, this is what I think. There's a whole tiering system. Check it out.
She's so excited.
I'm so excited about it. This is going to be my passion project. So have a look. My aim is to go through every single sneaker that you love or hate and rate them.
Yeah. And so where can people find? I keep plugging it, but subscribe,
On
ring the bell, click on the bell.
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, and we'll see you next time.
And where else can they find us?
PUSHAS Official on Instagram,
TikTok,
everywhere
everywhere else.
else. Just type in
Alright,
PUSHAS.
we can. Sorry, I'm just giving you crap today. See you guys. Bye.